but it looks as though she's a narcissist, like an actual diagnosed narcissist. Blake Lively fears profound mental health issues are at risk of being leaked. We have got to talk about this. It's just almost unbelievable that her lawyer would file this. It's just very bizarre. There's a lot of things that he could have talked about. Health issues is very alarming. I'm not making fun of that. I'm not in any way denigrating that. And it's making me want to dig deeper into what is really going on with her. Diagnosed with something that could actually affect this case and actually explain why she's the way she is. I believe this is probably related to personality disorders, but it's the same way we would see with Amber Heard and how everyone could see what was wrong with her. Amber Heard, who actually, I guess, did an evaluation of her, and she went on and talked about not only being a narcissist, but actually having histrionic personality disorder. There was a whole array of things. And then once you looked at the actual symptoms of it and you compared it to Amber Heard's behavior, it was like shocking to see how much her behavior lined up with this. And now let me just say this. Having a mental health disorder does not excuse you in any way from what you're doing. That Ryan Reynolds is not only a narcissist, but I believe he is a psychopath. Now, a psychopath, a sociopath, those aren't, but it's all falls under antisocial personality disorder, as the common person may, know it as being a psychopath or a sociopath. Again, you can clearly see, in my opinion, the narcissism at bare minimum that's going on with her. But let's get more into this. I wouldn't just put this out here unless it was really, really.
Blake Lively is cracking, or at least, that's the image her team wants the world to see. The actress who built her career on effortless charm and unshakable poise is suddenly being painted as fragile, vulnerable, and weighed down by profound mental health struggles. And the timing? It comes just as her once pristine reputation teeters on the brink of collapse. Is this genuine crisis, or a carefully calculated maneuver to redirect the narrative? Because make no mistake, this isn't simply a story of one woman's private battles. It's a $400 million war unfolding in real time, with careers, reputations, and power hanging in the balance.
It really does seem like it was just a big mess. Like she wants to be in that position.
And this director, she's a really good director photographer. She won some awards recently. She's very, very good. So I'm not surprised, to quote.
You feel a lot more alive as an actor when you have a director who's also filming moments and capturing that.
Just in the context of everything that we've heard through this vacuum of authorship, I thought that was very interesting. She explains kind of how this movie came to be. And again, definitely there is Blake authorship here as well.
Beyond authorship, obsession, stalking. Yeah. I mean, my gosh.
Stalking Reed Morano, our director. And I was actually trying to get her to do another film of mine, and they told me that she was entirely unavailable, that it's not worth it. I called her agents and I said, please just take a meeting with me. And they said, okay, she can meet tonight at 10:30 p.m. And they knew I live 2 hours away from where.
Like a little flippant comment, I can tell she must have bitched them. Guys, I'm 2 hours away. How else would they know where she freaking lives, Kim?
Outside of her.
They must have been so annoyed. They're like, oh, I tried to get rid of this girl.
I was at 10:30 at night one night, and I begged her to do my movie, and she was meant to do another movie instead, and we instead spent the entire night talking about this script that she was obsessed with called The Rhythm Section. She wasn't hired as the director. I had never even heard of it. And we both left the meeting wanting to make The Rhythm Section instead. But the problem was we weren't hired. Barbara Broccoli had no idea who either one of us were.
So that's very telling. Did you know? Because I picked that up. She basically just snuck the movie from Reed, who's in there, and was like, I'll get you the meeting with Barbara so you can maybe get it, but I'm going to be in it. Was that a tell there, Kim? She fell for it. She fell for it, guys.
I feel like how it came to be.
She says things, and it's like, I don't think she understands the way she sounds when she says.
Blake Lively is cracking, or at least, that's the story her team wants you to believe. The actress who built her brand on effortless charm and unshakable poise is suddenly being painted as fragile, vulnerable, and emotionally shattered. And the timing couldn't be more convenient. Just as her reputation begins to collapse under the weight of lawsuits and resurfaced accusations, the narrative shifts. Blake is no longer a powerful Hollywood player under fire, but a woman on the brink, fighting for survival. Is this coincidence, or a calculated maneuver? Because make no mistake, this isn't just about personal struggles. This is a $400 million war playing out in real time, with reputations, careers, and power at stake. For more than a decade, Blake dominated red carpets, magazine covers, and the gossip pages without ever seeming to break a sweat. Now, she's at the center of one of Hollywood's messiest legal battles in years. The question tearing the industry apart is simple. Is Blake truly a victim, a woman broken by a toxic workplace and entrenched industry politics? Or is she the mastermind, deploying a well-timed mental health revelation to deflect blame and preserve her brand? Hollywood itself seems divided. Some stars have rallied around Blake, condemning the industry's history of silencing women. Others are quietly side-eyeing the timing, questioning whether this is another strategic PR play. And then there's the public, dissecting every interview, every legal motion, every carefully worded press release, desperate to parse what's real and what's just spin. At the heart of it all is The Rhythm Section, a film that was supposed to cement Blake as a serious actress and creative force. Instead, it became the spark that ignited a firestorm. Blake's lawsuit against director Justin Baldoni accuses him of fostering a toxic set, undermining her creative input, and retaliating when she spoke out. According to her, what began as a creative disagreement spiraled into harassment, bullying, and a campaign of sabotage so severe she was forced to take legal action. Justin, however, tells a very different story. In his counter-lawsuit, he claims Blake herself was the aggressor, manipulative, controlling, and backed by her husband Ryan Reynolds, who allegedly used his influence to smear Justin, sink the film, and ensure Blake was framed as the wronged heroine. He's seeking $400 million in damages, alleging his career was nearly destroyed by what he describes as a calculated takedown orchestrated by Hollywood's golden couple. The truth, as always in Hollywood, is murky. What matters isn't necessarily who's right or wrong, but who controls the narrative. And that's where this battle is being fought most fiercely, not just in courtrooms, but in headlines, on social media, and in closed-door crisis meetings. Every leak, every insider quote, every paparazzi shot is another chess move in a war where perception equals survival. Blake's camp insists she has been privately struggling for years, her mental health deteriorating under an industry that resists women's creative power. Justin's side paints her unraveling as pure performance, a convenient distraction from her own alleged misconduct. Ryan Reynolds, once untouchable, is now being dragged into the fray, accused of weaponizing his industry clout to protect his wife and bury Justin's career. If true, the fallout could stain not just Blake's reputation but Ryan's as well. And then came the pivot. Just as public sentiment started turning against Blake, after weeks of damning leaks, late-night jokes about her behavior, and growing skepticism online, her legal team made a stunning revelation. She had been battling profound mental health struggles throughout the ordeal. Overnight, the narrative shifted. The ruthless manipulator became the fragile woman suffering in silence. Critics were forced to tread carefully. After all, who wants to be seen attacking someone openly struggling with mental health? It was a textbook PR maneuver. Headlines softened, sympathy grew, and the backlash slowed. But not everyone is convinced. Blake's critics point to the contradictions. If she's truly in crisis, how does she continue to appear at high-profile events looking flawless and composed? How does her Instagram remain a carefully curated stream of red carpet glamour, perfect family moments, and brand-friendly content? To skeptics, the timing of her breakdown feels less like truth and more like strategy. And then there's the CIA connection. In an eyebrow-raising move, Blake brought in Nick Shapiro, former deputy chief of staff at the CIA, as her crisis manager. Shapiro isn't your standard Hollywood publicist. He's a strategist trained in narrative control at the highest levels, with a client list full of embattled politicians and executives. His presence suggests this isn't ordinary reputation management. It's narrative warfare on a global scale. Why turn to someone with intelligence-level expertise unless there's something very big to protect? Some argue this shows Blake is hiding something. Others insist it proves how ruthlessly misogynistic Hollywood remains, forcing women to wage battles men never have to fight. Either way, one thing is clear. Blake's public image is now being managed with near-military precision. Yet despite the spin, contradictions keep piling up. One day, photos of a distraught Blake feed the image of a woman on the verge of collapse. Days later, she's radiant at an event, exuding confidence, flashing her signature effortless smile. The whiplash only fuels the debate. Is Blake genuinely suffering, or is this simply her most convincing role yet? The stakes couldn't be higher. If Blake wins, She emerges as a wronged woman who fought the Hollywood machine and prevailed. If Justin wins, her credibility is shattered, and Ryan's could crumble alongside hers. At this point, the lawsuit has become something bigger, an information war. A battle over perception, headlines, and the very idea of truth in Hollywood. Every whisper, every leak, every viral tweet is ammunition. The outcome may ultimately have less to do with what happened on set than with who manages to control the story. Because in this town, reputations aren't built on facts. They're built on belief. And when the mask finally slips, the only question is whether Blake Lively will still be standing.